Hello friends, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How you doing today? Welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me. I'm here with this month's collab with Deb Houck's Crafty Cottage. It's called Craft Your Paper Stash Cards. So we post a video once a month on the 15th at 7 a.m. About cards, regarding cards that we're making. And so this month I have made a few cards and I had a kind of a thought about, we were supposed to use our paper stash and our craft stash. And I thought, I had never made a card, I don't believe, with a napkin cover. So I thought I'd try some napkins this month, and I did some other things, but I will have all the collaborators listed or linked down below this video. And be sure to check everybody out because they make some really beautiful cards. I mean, amazing cards. So what I did, as kind of looking at it, I look at it from a junk journal's point of view, because that's what I usually do. But I thought it would be fun to make cards also because I just wanted to challenge myself in that way. So I wanted to try making some with napkins first of all. So here's two. I thought it would be cool. I had only one of these napkins left. I thought, wouldn't it be cool to use this pretty napkin as a background? So I have a white cardstock here, as you can see from the inside. These are going to be blank on the inside. I don't really have any sentiments that would look good stamped inside of a card. I thought that would be neat if I did. Maybe I'll look into that. I do have, like letter rubber stamps where I could, but that would take a long time to spell out words. I didn't want to take that much time. With these, I wanted to do something quick but really pretty and use what I had. So these are napkins. I did two of them different sizes because this is all the napkin I really had of this one napkin, all I had left of it. And you can see it makes a really pretty background. You could layer it up more if you wanted to put more layers under the thank you. My thought was I was going to make some thank you cards. So I put the napkin on, the outside. I rounded the corners. I have this little punch here, paper punch, that punches this little label. And I'm going to be using that today because we're going to make one together. But I used that rubber stamped the word thank you, which that turned out super cute. I thought I had never really stamped that on this label before. I didn't even know if it would fit, but I tried it. It fit, and I like the way the font and everything. I think it's really cute. And then I had these are little stickers right here. I have one there, one there, one there, and one there in case you can't see them well. But they're little stickers, and I thought, I wanted some kind of, since I didn't do any layering under here, I wanted something else on there, and I thought those little stickers looked cute. So simple, fast, and fun, but really cute. So those are the two with napkins. There's one more with napkins I'll get to in a second. We're going to make one too. But this is just made with scraps. It's also white cardstock, folded in half, corners rounded. I had this yellow piece from Happy Mail that a friend sent me, and she had done this edge punching really pretty, and I thought, wouldn't that look pretty on a card, as the layering background. And then I just used scraps here, some strips from my cutoffs from my paper pads, and I stamped this rubber stamped this butterfly. So I was trying to think of something else to put on there, like some stickers or something, and nothing else went. So right now this is how it looks, and I think it's cute, just like this. And then I can write inside, okay, and whatever I want. Could be, get well soon, hope you're doing okay, thank you, whatever. It's, generic. So this is another one. I took another piece from my friend here where she did the edge punching. Super, super pretty, right? And then I did cut a piece of white cardstock here for a layering piece, rounded the corners. And then I had this little die cut leaf in my stash, and some words. This says time to be awesome. So I just layered those on there. So you've got 3 layers, and all the colors coordinate. I thought that worked out well. I was like looking through my stash for things that matched this paper because I thought it was so pretty. And then I found these little, sticker beads. They're like half beads, that they're stickers, and I put those on the corners because I was actually thinking of, and I did that on here. I didn't mention it actually, but I took my black marker, and this one you can't, did I do it on this one? I know I did on, you can see it on this one. I took my black marker and went around the edge to give it kind of a border or outline on this label. So I didn't want to do, did I do it on here? No, I didn't do it on there. But I didn't want to do it. I wanted to like just a clean, kind of fresh look, and I think that's what I got. So I didn't, but you could do that around the edge, put a coordinating color around there, and that would be pretty too. I just didn't want to do that. So that one's done, and this one flips up like this. So I did use my scoreboard to score most of these to get a nice flat, even fold there. So that worked well. If you have a scoreboard or something you can score on. So this is the other one I made with a napkin. We're going to make one of these today. This was a pretty napkin. I looked through all my napkins, and this one I thought would make a pretty card. Here's the front. Here's the back. Just like a little tulip, pretty bright colored flowered card. And then I put this little thank you again with the label. Oh, and this one I outlined too. Hopefully you could see that. But I think since I put it's white on white, I think it needed that little outline to make it stand out there. And then two of those little stickers that I used on the other ones too, I used on here. So that one came out well. You can see. And the size was governed by the size of the napkin and the tulips on this. So that's why these are the size they are, kind of like governed by the napkins or whatever I was putting on them. Like these two, this paper that I put in the background here was that size. So that's why the cards are that size. And I don't really have to have an envelope. I'm not like, oh, I have to have an envelope this size. A lot of these I stick in with my Etsy orders, so, you know, if it doesn't have an envelope, I'll just put the card in there, and, you know, I think that's fine. You know, the card is a card, you know. So what I was doing to, these are, I think these are the oldest napkins I had. Like, I have, all the other napkins are kind of newer. Like, I've either bought them myself new, or I can tell, you know, you can tell when a napkin looks, you know, freshly new from the store, right? So these looked old, and I think I was right, because when I peeled the back off, you know how you peel the layers off, the napkin almost looks like there's another one on there, but I don't think there is. But anyway, this one almost didn't want to come apart, and it actually left, as I was peeling it apart from the layers, it actually left tiny little holes in here, but I'm still using it. It's very thin. So I don't know how old these napkins are. I did buy these myself at a thrift store. They say the brand copyright here is Creative Converting. I don't know. I never heard of it before. But so what I have been doing to get the napkin on here, and what works for me, is a glue stick, a regular glue stick. But I was, let's see, trying to think how I did this. So I was doing those cards last night, so because I kind of got into a way to do them where they were just gluing down really well. So what I was doing, yeah, this is what I was doing with the glue stick. This is just the Elmer's, you know, washable spool glue, and I was just putting the Elmer's glue on like this, but I was putting it on very thickly, because I tried a couple where, and they were okay too, where I just did like that, but I had a little problem with one of them, I think it was, where it seemed to get, maybe it wasn't, maybe it was paper, on paper, but it seemed to get some bubbles. So after that, I started doing this, where I just go over it and get a nice solid, as you can see, I'm covering up the holes here where you see the holes in the glue. I was just covering up the holes. And I know that's a lot of glue, but, you know, it's not coming up, at least, right? So I'm just kind of like trying to get every spot there. I think I'm going to leave it at that, because I think that'll be fine. So this napkin had a border on it. I cut off the border, so I just felt like it was going to be too big with the border. Plus, I didn't really like the border on the card. I just wanted the tulips. So I'm just kind of doing a little piece at a time like this. This looks like it's covering my cardstock, so I'm just doing a little piece at a time, and then if you get a wrinkle, it's not a big deal. I don't think you can kind of smooth it out depending on your napkin. Now this, like I said, I think this is an older one. And I was doing that last night where I kind of had a wrinkle, and then I was like taking my fingernail and trying to smooth out the wrinkle. It was just a tiny wrinkle, but still, it really wouldn't matter if there was a wrinkle, but I was still trying to smooth it out, and I actually made a little hole in this napkin because it's so thin, and like I said, I don't know how old it is, but then I took another piece of napkin that I had cut off and patched it, and you couldn't even tell because it was down here in this green part. You couldn't even tell, you know, kind of like Mod Podged it together with my glue stick, and you couldn't even tell there was a, you know, that there was ever a hole there. So that was cool if you need to, you know, fix a patch. It worked out well for me. So then after I get a piece down like this, I'm just going back and doing the next section. So I can just, I want to get it down good, and I want my glue to be, you know, I don't want my glue to dry before I get it down. So I'm just kind of doing this. And last night I noticed I got some up on the napkin here where I'm, you know, starting from the last glue section, and it still was a little purple. I'll see if I can still see it or if it actually dried, but I was just now trying to be careful that I didn't do that again. So let's get this next section. See right here, that's where I stopped with the previous section and started. There's like a line there, and so if you care about that, you might want to do the whole section, the whole card at one time. You can't, well, you can see a little bit right here, right there. I think that's what that is, that little line. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but there's a little line there. So I think that's where I stopped this section of glue and started this one. If you care about that, that might be something you want to be careful about, and just go ahead and do your whole card with glue or Mod Podge or whatever you use to glue down napkin. And you know, I don't use Mod Podge, that type of Mod Podge. Now I do have a spray Mod Podge. I should actually try that. I was thinking last night I should actually try that and see how that works, because I like the spray Mod Podge. It's like a sealer, but I bet it would work on it might work on napkins. I think it probably would, but I really would just have to experiment with it. I haven't tried that. So if anybody's tried that, maybe you can let me know. The spray sealer Mod Podge that comes in an aerosol can. Yeah, don't use the glue, like white glue Mod Podge anymore. I had issues with it, and I know there's ways to fix it, but I just don't want to take that chance ever again if I don't have to. So I just have found ways around it and used other things besides Mod Podge. Okay, so now we've got this down, it's gluing, and this is kind of what I did. See how this is a little, I need to trim. So I did trim. This time I'm using gray cardstock too. I have more white. I kind of wanted to try it on gray and see how it looked, you know, as far as the white part of the napkin over gray. And then I have, you know, of course I can write in here just like on a white cardstock, but let's just trim this up because it was kind of in my scraps after using some of it on another project yesterday. So trying to catch up with my scraps. So I'm going to take this lowest part of the napkin here and line it up here and cut a straight line across. And then, let's see what else. I think it's pretty, well, this is not straight over here, so once I get it straight, then I'll just trim the rest of the napkin off, you know what I mean? So this is sticking to my cutter a little bit here. I'll wipe that off later. So, okay, I think we've got everything's straight now. So now I'll just cut off the extra napkin. There we go. Let's see if we got it all. A little bit right here. A little bit right here. All right, I think it's good. So now this is thinner cardstock. Like if the cardstock that I feel like you have to, or I have to score is thicker. This is a thinner one, so this is not going to be an issue in folding it in half. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold it in half with my hand here, not worry about scoring this one. I might get my, and this napkin is the thinner, older one, so I don't want to rip the napkin either by, well, I would score it on the inside. If I was going to score it, I would score it on the inside so I don't rip my napkin. And then also, even rubbing your, making the crease with your bone folder could tear your napkin. So you want to be really, especially if you have a thin old one like this one. So you want to be really careful about that. Then I'll go ahead and round my corners. So just using my corner rounder. I think I rounded around all the corners on these cards. I did. I had left them square at first, and I was like, oh, I can't do it. I have to round the corners. If you watch my videos, I love rounded corners. So there it is so far. And so the only other thing I did was make a little label. So I have a little piece of white cardstock here. Again, let me see if I can get this in here. Make a little label with this. I might have to get a bigger piece if I can't get this little one in there. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Alrighty. And then I just put it like that right there. So I just took my Sharpie. Now this one, I need to go get a new one. I noticed last night this seemed like it was running low on ink. Getting ready to run out of ink or something. But I very carefully, if you're not careful, you will like run over the edge and make a mark on your label. You do have two sides though if you needed to flip it over. If you did make a mark on one side, since it's just a piece of white cardstock, you could flip it over and use the other side to stamp on. But if I try to not to, when I do that, when I rush is when I do that. When I'm trying to like just go around, I just have to like, for some reason, be patient and go slow around here, or else I'll just go right over the edge and make a mark. You know what I mean? I've done it so many times. Okay, so now I have a little outline there, a little black outline. Then I took my little rubber stamp, so cute, a little thank you here. And I used a black, just regular black ink. And it's small, so I have to be careful to get it in the middle. It's actually kind of hard to see because the stamp covers up the whole label here. Would be, besides your fingers being in the way in your hands. But I'm just kind of like looking and trying to get it in the middle because it kind of just barely fits on there. Now I can do it over, of course. I've got more cardstock, but if we don't have to do it over, we don't want to, right? So there we go. So cute, right? Isn't that adorable? I just love that font. And this is the first time it's not the first time I've used that stamp, but it's the first time I've used it on a label, and it just looks so cute. So for this, to glue this down, good. I'm using my art glitter glue cardstock over napkin, when you want to make sure it's going to stay on. Let's get a little glue all up in the edges especially. The little points. And I just put it right here. Now you can put it wherever you want it. If you like it down here, you can put it down there. Want it right in the middle, put it right there. And see the other one I put up there because I didn't want to cover up anything. I didn't want to cover up the tulips. I mean, the main part of the tulips here. This napkin did come out a little different, I see. So maybe this one I'll put down here because I've got more green leaves on this one. I think I will. I think I'll try it down here. I think that'll be cool different, you know. They all don't have to be the same. Just do what you like. Do what you like, you know. Okay, so now I have the stickers here. I used 2 around the thank you last time, but maybe this time I'll put a couple right up here, because now I feel like I need something right here. And I've got several different greens here. You see, like a turquoisey, kind of a hunter green, and a lighter green. I think any of those would go. I even have a pink one I could stick up there. Let's see. I took a couple different shades of pink too. Do I need, I think I want to, well, it's so hard sometimes to decide on the spot here, because I hadn't really planned to make it different, but I ended up making it different. So I think I'm going to go with, between the pink and the green, I kind of feel like I need to balance the green out. Like I have green down here, because I have pink right there, and I don't know, for some reason, I feel like I need to balance out the green. So I'm going to go with the green. So I'm going to put the big one here in the corner, the big like star, and then a little one. Well, I've got 2. Let's see which one would fit here next to that. I can go over the tulip a little bit, or it could go up here. I think I'm going to put a little one up there. Maybe we'll do 3. Little one up here. These are sticking good too. These are from Studio Calico. I got them with a traveler's notebook I had gotten from there. So, yep, that's how I'm going to do it. There we go. Yeah, it needed something up here, didn't it? So there we go. That one is done. So that's my cards for this month. I hope you enjoyed. It's a short video, right? But I have a bunch of cards. All these I made beforehand. And here's the 2 different tulip cards made with a napkin. And here's the difference, if you want to see the difference between white and gray. I wanted to see what the gray was like. So if you want a more subdued look, you could use like a craft or a gray. This is gray cardstock behind your white napkin. If you want a more bright and fresh, you know, clean look, you could go with the white behind the white. So that is the difference. I like both of them. So, you know. All right. Thanks for watching this month, and hope you enjoyed my cards and that you'll enjoy all the other collaborators. And I will see you next month with more cards. Thanks for watching. Happy crafting.